First of all, thank you for inviting me. I have really bad English, but I will try to tell you something. I will read, so let us not waste our time. I'm architect and critic, and my work is about form, materials, their size, and their relationship. Usually, I talk throughout the language of vision, and my work is about visual perception. With the language of vision, I analyze the world around me, the details, and at the same time, the landscape. When Tomasz has put the topic of the conference, I asked myself, what can be my contribution? What is the capacity of industrial production and making general for a viable city culture? Can production and making be a viable part of the knowledge economy and how? How to establish the cultural value of making and production vis-à-vis its economic value? I see what is not working in the world of forms, materials, proportions, and landscape. I can talk about this and answer to the question of Tomasz. This is my manifesto for future architecture platform. I think that the innovation starts from the balance between hyperlocal and development. The balance point is a point of optimal balance that we can objectively determine to define new forms of living and working. I really like this diagram because here I see the man, head, open arms, something like the Vitruvian Man of Leonardo da Vinci. And actually, my approach is on a human scale. Hyperlocal is collectivity, culture, know-how, memories, identity, tradition, climate. Development is technology, infrastructure, finance, industry, energy, and exploitation. And the point of optimal balance we can find about the innovation, about new forms of living and working, adapted to the new and current lifestyle. Even at the service of complex programs for urban and regional regeneration. So, new economy scape, new landscape, new social scape. I think about resource optimization and tool sustainability, organized by integrated projects which can hold together the good things of hyperlocal and the good things of development. We need innovative solutions from and for the territory that have to be declinable, scalable, reproducible, and above all, directly applicable. The issue is the focus that has to be from and for the territory. So in the place itself, we have the richness, and we have to find it. The project itself is in the place, in its territory, in its landscape, in its society, and in its economy. So the observation and the listening have to be the first project actions. History, heritage, and culture must be the core of the project. I think too that an architect could be a director of integrated projects conceived from and for the territory. As he designed part of city or complex buildings, he can design an integrated project that includes in network different workers. Workers like engineers, biologists, agronomists, sociologists, makers, IT consultants, web marketers, and different more. The architecture has to restart the territory, hoping to the balance and the symbiosis that is bioclimatic, landscape urbanism, social living, social business, and co-working. That is renovation of building and these activities in the context of an urban scape or a landscape. So have you seen the Venice Biennale? I think about the work of Atelier Beauvau. This is the installation of the current Biennale. They presented a project in the woodlands of Kurimoto, in the landscape surrounding Tokyo, approximately 16 kilometers from Tokyo. Kurimoto is a former industrial area where the forestry and timber industry once flourished. Kurimoto was unable to compete with a low-priced timber from the USA and has become abandoned in a post-industrial state. This is another image of the installation. So globalization has separated the citizens from their local resources to use as building material, for example. Atelier Beauvau, in collaboration with the Tokyo Institute of Technology and a local NGO, proposes a new source of income and activity for the locality that will also as a healing agent to the damaged landscape. The name of the project is the Timber Network. This is the image that represented the project. Exploiting the existing structures in the woodland, they propose to create a firewood supply plant. This proposal aims to provide work and simultaneously manage the surroundings forest by using the products of thinning, which will eventually lead to the production of large trees that can be used as building material. Also, they are designing spaces for the local workers to safely participate in activities involving some risks such as wood chopping or tree felling. And now they are designing the supply station 1K, and this is the final step of the project. With 1K, they try to establish a new framework that can activate the potential of local areas in terms of material and human resources, as well as lower the barrier for urban citizens to participate in farming activities, thus connecting rural and urban spaces. The first step was activate the process of firewood sourcing. And for do this, they are designing a protocol including graphic instruments such as diagrams and manuals. This is the process of firewood sourcing designed by Atelier Beauvau. Here more in detail we can see the different phases of process: tinning, transportation, cross-cutting, chopping, drying, shipping. And here the right side of a diagram. Every process is reported in a manual, and I will show the tinning manual and the chopping manual. So these are the pages of tinning manual. More in detail, the different phases of the tinning process, and at the last page, we have the checklist for the worker. And these are the page of chopping manual, and with the different phases and the checklist. So this is another image of the Biennale installation, and the title is Production of Behavior through the encounter of people and wood resource. Things too obvious. So we are in the surrounding Tokyo, and these are local know-how that the people have forgotten, and we can find, and it's hyper-local. With 70% of Japan being covered in forest, this is an important and highly relevant endeavor. In the process of this project, the concept of care farm, that combines social welfare with agriculture, has been coined and is developing now in other areas. The work of Atelier Beauvau studies social and economic contexts, looking for new ways to turn problems into opportunities. We have to think about integrated project from and for the territory. From the point of view of the landscape, of the social fabric and the local economy. Conditions that were once necessary and unique, with no possibility of an alternative, apparently limited by the condition of the place, become current today. These are the themes of the Grow Conference. So the agriculture trend today is to activate local production systems with native species. The architecture, the economy, could they design? It is possible to reformulate and update the processes to the demand sides or to the human scale. Any regeneration project have to depend to the context, to the scale, and to the scale. Each project have to be custom to the people, to the place, and to the time. And that is a balance. So we can apply this approach over a city, a village, or a land. I answered to the question of Thomas with a good Italian example. She is Daniela Ducato, and she lives in a territory of former heavy industries, mine and refineries. We are in Sardinia, in the Sardinia region, in the territory of Sulcis. 70% of the Sardinian area is used by pasture. Sardinia is the region with more sheep per capita in the world. The wool of sheep sharing in Italy is special waste. We have to pay to dispose of. And disposal is by burning, terribly producing CO2. Daniela talked of turning the surplus of sheep's wool, and there is abundant, in insulating for the building. Wool has exceptional properties, flame retardant, thermal insulation, and soundproofing. And more, Daniela called to work the wool small local craft enterprises that once produced traditional Sardinian carpets and that the economic crisis had already led to close. Problems into opportunities. And now, having the discovery that organisms living in the wool, and now having the discovery that organisms living in the wool eat the oil, and the wool will be used in the Sardinian ports to clean up the sea. So Daniela also produces ecological plasters and pines with scraps of local products processing, such as milk, cheese, olive oil, vineyards, rather than the branches pruning. Again, things too obvious. These are local know-how that the people have forgotten and that now has reactivated the territory. So Daniela has won numerous awards, the last to the World Economic Forum in New Delhi, as one of the top 10 world leaders in the sustainable innovation technology. And before she wins international awards as the best woman innovator in Europe in green building. In the integrated system that Daniela invented are involved and have benefits. Workers in the researchers, designers, architects, engineers. Workers in the management, administrative, sales, marketing, and workers in the production, staffers, craft workers. So the company is Edit Zero, and it's zero born by private enterprise without use of public funds. A winning project started from and for the territory. The word project derived etymologically from the Latin project, turn forward, into the future. When we design, we must think about future generations. Do you know Saleva, the brown top of door? Mr. Saleva, Heiner Oberauch, the owner, here in the picture, award-winning entrepreneur for his approach to business from and for the territory and the people, says that the important thing in business is to think long range, think into the future, think about the future generation. During an interview, he said, "I think for the children of my grandchildren." This must be the entrepreneurial approach funded from and for the territory. It must also be the spectrum of action of the policy. So I finish with Hermann Hesberger. Does users become inhabitants?